Because future-looking statements are inherently subject to risk and uncertainty, our reminder is that you should make any purchasing decisions or investment decisions based on products that are currently commercially available.
Developers today are facing more and more demand to create consumer-grade experiences while maintaining enterprise scale, and often with a more compressed time frame. The Salesforce platform has been a great answer to enterprise development by providing a robust environment to develop with both clicks and code. However, when it comes to the ultimate customization with external apps, like communities, where the Salesforce data meets your customers, sometimes you need to customize that experience with every pixel. For these use cases, developers need a set of flexible tools that allows them to build with open frameworks that they can quickly learn, take their code, and deploy everywhere, where their customers are, and all the while keeping their apps secure and robust. This is where Lightning Web Stack comes in. Lightning Web Stack provides the most important modules and services to build a trusted web app that can run anywhere. Let's take a look at what it takes to make that happen. First, your code needs to be modular and open. This is why we created LWC, a component framework based on open standards, so any JavaScript developers can quickly build LWC components. Of course, we have an exceptional design system that's been out there for over 3 years as an open source project. SLDS provides the patterns and the blueprints that make it easy to design great applications. The SLDS team just announced a new tool for Sketch, a Sketch plugin to help you develop beautiful experiences even faster. The second part of building great trusted web apps is making it secure. You can leverage even more Lightning services like Locker that is out of the box with LWC. We're making it easier than ever to add security and include enterprise-grade protection for components running on consumer websites. And finally, making your code portable showcases the power of Lightning Web Stack. Your app can run where your customers are, everywhere. With our truly transformative technologies, Lightning Data Service and Lightning Web Runtime, your components are portable. Lightning Data Service makes it easy for developers to access Salesforce data, all while including powerful client-side caching technology. Lightning Web Runtime makes it a snap to develop locally on your machine. And combining both Lightning Data Services, Lightning Web Runtime, with Salesforce open source base components makes running your app anywhere possible. And with that, I want to walk you through an example of how eBikes, a sample app showcasing a fictional online retailer, on how they can create a new delivery scheduling service that can be deployed both on Salesforce and then on any external website. Getting right into the demo, I've gone to the Trailhead Apps GitHub repo. This repository is maintained by evangelists and has some great recipes for getting started. I chose to use the eBikes Lightning Web Component application, and I've deployed that to Salesforce through SFDX and to my dev hub. So let's go ahead and take a peek. Okay, I've opened up eBikes. I've pulled up in the Product Explorer. This page is full of Lightning Web components. I can click on something in the catalog, it sends a message, and it renders over to the card, the detail card on the right. I can also use filters. So I can select a filter the catalog down, and also do a quick search to filter the catalog even more. This is a very rich Lightning Web Component experience, but today what we're going to do is focus on the reseller orders. So let's go ahead and click on the order I had already started earlier. All right, you can see that I've got another page full of Lightning Web Components. I can remove something from the order. I can adjust the numbers of the bikes I would like to be sent to my bike shop in this order. And I can even drag and drop using modern JavaScript and HTML5 events, a new bike over to my order and confirm that. And it updates the total. This is a great experience so far. It's all built LWC first. It's all built on Salesforce and it's working just fine. However, I had a scenario from the product team where we got feedback from customers and they said, gee, it'd be nice to be able to deliver, to figure out when we could deliver these bikes. And so I mocked up this delivery times component all on SFDX, Salesforce CLI, built in VS Code, and I'm using some base components. I can click on a button. You can see it sends an event and it picks the time of day in the window for the delivery. I built this using base components. So I have a lightning button and a lightning card. And we're going to get into that in a little bit when we go and take a peek at the code. All right. First, I want to call your attention over to the data delivery. This is my container component that pulls the data from an Apex controller. And so I'm importing my Apex controller up top here. And then I'm putting that into the wire component down below where it expects to get a zip code value sent as a string. And then it takes this data and it propagates it down to the rest of the UI components in the delivery window. You can see here, I've got a lightning card. And if I expand this, you're going to see that I have a whole bunch of other layout components for my kind of custom layout of how I'm organizing the days of the week and the times and the buttons and so forth. Also, you can note I have a lightning button down at the bottom where it's handling the click event. You saw me click and sending the information back up for the delivery time spot. This usually precludes you from taking this component off of Salesforce because you're already calling our wire adapters. You're already getting data from Apex, and it would be hard to just take this component as is off platform and make it work. Same with the lightning card. This is a base component. It's served up to you automatically on Salesforce, but it doesn't exist outside of Salesforce in any meaningful way. So right now I'm talking about code portability and I'm highlighting things that aren't very portable. However, I'm going to go to a site running locally on my machine right now. As you can see, this is a consumer-based website where I'm just showing my product catalog and doing a simple search and filter, just like on SFDX. These are similar components and it gives you a similar experience. And so you can see, I'm going to go ahead and do a filter really quick. I'm going to search for a bike I've had my eye on for a while, and we're going to go and drill into it. But otherwise, this is all LWC components. It's an LWC first container. I like this bike because I like orange and it's got orange on it and it drew my eye to it. So I'm going to go click on this and we're going to drill into a detail page. Okay, same bike. I'm going to go down. I get a little bit more information. I could choose to add this to cart. I could go find it nearby, but look, it's the same component. This is what is really cool. This is the exact same component. I copied and pasted the code. I'm going to show you the source on the page. Look at this, a lightning button. It's the same lightning button and this should not work. Also, the lightning card. How does this work? I didn't change the code. I'm actually going to go and show you the code so that we can walk through how this actually works. We've copied and pasted from Salesforce into a local project and it's running just fine. You can see over here, I'm using Lightning Web Runtime. I actually have my own namespaces that I manage. I have the C namespace, which is key for this because C namespace is the default customer namespace. And I built my components in my default customer namespace. I copied and pasted them into this directory. And you can see Visual Studio is snitching on me. It's showing that I've made an edit to one file. And we're going to go take a peek at that edit in just a second. But I copied over the XML metadata for Salesforce. I don't need it, but I was just showing you the authenticity of I can copy and paste this code. All right, we're going to take a peek at what I did to the data. First, you'll notice I did comment out the Apex controller. I can't really reference and resolve that easily. I am referencing my own wire adapter that I generated off platform that meets the same data contract for this wire. This is super cool. It's still just expecting the same string data. I have a local service running, a node service running on my box that serves up that data. I still have to have an endpoint, but I'm using the same wire adapter. I don't have to change this part of the code. I just updated the name and updated the reference. I could have actually done trickery and just mapped the Apex one to something that I made locally, but that's not very genuine, right? There is one change, so that's fine. But the code portability is high. Let's go take a peek at the actual HTML. See, same HTML that I showed you before. It's the same lightning card, and it's actually the same lightning button. Great. Now there's still a couple of mysteries. You kind of know how I did the wire adapter. Let's go take a peek at the wire adapter I made to go and meet the contract here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull open that project. You can see that I worked with my development team to get a RAML definition made for my API. It's a very simple API. It's just deliveries and zip code. And this is the description of it here. And then in the LDS adapter, all I've done is I've mapped to this simple API. So we're going to go over to the LDS.raml file, and you're going to see that I have the mapping down below. So it shows deliveries, and it's expecting zip code, and it's saying I'm going to expose this in this adapter that I'm referencing in my code. And I also can do some other things with LDS. Like, this is the power of LDS and the robustness. I can set the time to live, which is, I think, about 15 minutes. It's set in milliseconds. And then I also tell it what the unique key is for caching. So it's not just the fact that I can call through to the API, it's that the wire adapter is actually using LDS on the client. So when I call through and get the zip code data once, it's going to keep that cached for 15 minutes. And then if I'm going to refresh the view, it's still going to come from my cache. And I could shorten that if my API requires a shorter time. Here's the actual generated code. We didn't write this by hand. It was generated by this project. You can see that the wire adapter first says, hey, let's go check and see if I have this in the cache. If it's in the cache, we just grab it and we return it super fast. The next thing is it says, hey, what if it's partially in the cache? Maybe I've got some of the data in the cache and some of the data I've not seen before. So it might go and retrieve the difference in the records. Like if I had 4 or 5 records returning from this based on the unique key. If it doesn't find it, it says, hey, let's go get it from the network for the first time and cache it. So this is LDS, and it's code generated for you on my local machine. And I've got my wire adapter. That's cool. We've solved one mystery. We've solved the mystery of how can I keep my data contracts in sync and still leverage my same code for that component. Okay, great. Now you can see how all of this comes together. This wire adapter will call in to my local node service. It'll get its data, and it will pass that data down to my UI components, and it will render just fine, just like it did on SFDX. And you can actually see down here in my LWR config, this is where the rest of the magic's happening. So we're going to go and open that file. You can see I've got this highlighted, this npm reference to LWC demo UI components. This is where my Lightning components are coming from. I am able to resolve components through node modules. This was a recent change made to LWC engine, and the Lightning Web Runtime is taking advantage of that. So you can see here, I've got the open source base components code. I went to that repository. This is the code for card. I took this code for the card. I copied it. I pasted it in my own local package, and I published it up on NPM. And here, now I'm able to reference it. So once I did this reference and I did my NPM install from my package, you can see I've got my LWC demo UI components. Sure enough, here's my Lightning namespace. I control the namespaces. Here's my card. There's the same code you just saw copied from base components. It's really exciting that it's this easy. Like, we have a repository of components online that I can reference now. Once that's referenced, everything works. I copied and pasted the code and it works. Just had to pay a little attention to the namespace. I had to make sure the Lightning namespace existed, but that makes sense, right? Because everything was coming out of the Lightning namespace anyway. And that's the beauty of some of the features we've added to the core Lightning Web Component engine. And the fact that we're making everything LWC first makes this ultra portable. Like, all of the data contracts are really clear, and you can actually see how all of this fits together. I hope you liked what I just showed you. What you just saw is a continued push by Salesforce towards being more open and more friendly to our developer community. And our own Salesforce engineers are loving this and adopting it as well. Communities is already using Lightning Web Runtime to create the next-gen authoring experience. There's a talk by Zach, a product manager on the communities team, that you won't want to miss. The community's product is not the only feature taking advantage of this transformative technology in Lightning Web Runtime. Local development for LWC and the Lightning mobile app are already building new experiences on these modules today. And we're not stopping there. We want our entire developer community to keep propelling us forward. We openly share our designs for Lightning Web Components and love feedback on our requests for comments, or RFC docs. These documents also provide insight into our technology roadmap. Check out this link to read on some of the features you may have seen today, like module resolution, and provide us with comments. We're also very excited to have a new super badge on Lightning Web Components that's going live. Don't miss this. We talked about Salesforce being a platform that lets you customize with clicks and code. Are you confused about when or what to use? Check out this architect's guide that we authored to show when to use clicks versus code. Finally, we started this session by saying you as a developer have enormous demands on your time, all while having shortened deadlines and high expectations. Since we're on this journey together, my call to action to you is to write and share fantastic components. Keep pushing the platform and providing feedback. We're all in this together, and Lightning Web Stack is a result of your efforts as Salesforce developers.
Did you know that our brains receive 11 million bits of information every second? However, we can only consciously process around 40 bits. This is called unconscious bias. We all have it, but these mental shortcuts can create harmful stereotypes. Skilling up on equality makes us a stronger community. Learn more on Trailhead and earn the Impact of Unconscious Bias badge.
Flowsome DevOps and Backup Solution streamlines the development process, accelerates release velocity, and guarantees status security. Achieve automation and scalable deployments based on specified conditions with pipelines. Save valuable time and resources with declarative component merge editing, and easily review and directly comment on code with line-by-line code review. Check out Flowsome on AppExchange to learn more.